Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
What are we doing here today?
Podcasting.
Podcasting. Yay! I'm Brooke, also known as Not Your Average Girlfriend.
I'm Jamie, and I am not your average boyfriend,
And together we are.
not your average partner.
Okay. So we said we were going to start from the start.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. What's the start?
Well, starts with hello and welcome.
Hi.
I'm Jamie. This is Brooke. I think you already know that, and we are not your average partners.
Indeed.
Why are we here, and why are you here? I guess that's the question.
Okay. We can't ask them why they're here.
Oh, yes, we can. I'll validate you. I got you. You matter to me. She matters to me.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
um,
What does Not Your Average Partners mean?
it means that we have decided to not just subscribe to the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it means taking some leaps into our own lives and our own understanding of each other to find what makes us complete as a couple based off how individually strong we are.
Right. And what works for us might not be what everybody else says it's supposed to work, or might not be, well, definitely isn't the box we were raised to fit into, so to speak. So we're not your average partners because we choose to do it in a way that works best for us. And when we try to fit into the box, it didn't go very well. Well, it did, and it didn't. So
I'll refrain from saying train wreck right now, but that doesn't really describe it. But yeah, it got a little messy on my end.
Train wreck. It's okay. Things life happens. We're here now.
Choo choo.
Okay, listen. So let's talk about you for a few minutes here.
Okay, what do you want to? What should I tell them?
I mean, you tell me a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about like where do you want to start? I think it's important to tell a little bit of your story, but maybe a piece of the train wreck, and then how we ended up back here. We can go deeper later, but like let's just get like a little synopsis.
Well, I am I'm 50. Shout out to me.
Hey.
Getting better, not older. I came up rough.
Yeah.
I came up very feral. Is a good way to put it. I didn't come from a background with a whole lot of structure. I didn't come from a background that required me to be accountable in ways that are healthy. I pretty much did whatever the fuck I wanted from kindergarten on. I literally just raised myself, and I don't know if you've ever seen a 5-year-old raise themselves, but ta-da, here I am. Uh, Father, first and foremost.
Mhm.
I have some wonderful kids. They
Doing that since you were 19.
since I was 19, so
Several years.
several years, a couple decades, maybe 3 of them. I'm not gonna put that all out there, I guess.
Well, you said you were 50, so
Yeah,
math. Yeah.
you know, I'm a I'm a paintballer.
Hmm.
Love it. Catch me out on the field, catch me outside. I really came into action sports through skateboarding way back in the 80s. Um, Made me a fearless human, which serves me well sometimes, and sometimes I lack some of the appropriate fear to control my behavior. Um, I did grow up in a 1980s style crack house with my mother. So you can deduce from that what you will. Um, came up not far from actually where we're recording this.
Mm.
It's kind of been a little arc to help me rewrite my story to come back here to Northeast. Yeah. I I don't know. It's been kind of a wild life. I'm proud of it. Got a lot of experience in a lot of different things. I'm not scared to try anything once. I'm going to skip over a little bit so I can leave some in reserve for us to talk about later. But I think what's important to know about me is I came up with a lot of trauma. It made me a little bit self judgy. I operated for many, many years out of a place of shame. Um, Not necessarily from what I was doing. It definitely centered around some things that happened to me as a kid. You know, we can leave that as it is. If you want to know more, there's going to be Q&As. You can ask us, and I don't have any problem speaking about it because I did overcome. And what, 3 years now in trauma therapy, pretty heavily, twice a month.
Yep.
I think what's important to this right now is there's a part of me that led us to really find polyamory. And it really took me falling apart to
Mm.
get there. I had a couple of back to back major injuries that limited my use of my right arm for about 2 years. And as you know, I'm a action sports guy, disc golf regularly. Check me out on the disc golf course if you'd like. I'm gonna have some content up, I believe, over the next few whatevers. But what happened was
Well, you see,
the truth of it is I did not handle much of it very well. I allowed myself to fall into some self-loathing because I couldn't fulfill myself. And in turn, I lost the ability to see what matters the most. Um, I did some things that really hurt my wife. You know, I was a little bit, let's just say, non-ethical in some of my behaviors. I was really chasing I was really chasing things that reminded me of my mother. Let's just call it what it is. It's something she never gave me, so I didn't know exactly what was healthy and what wasn't. I just I fucked up. I
mm,
fucked up. Fucked up.
here we are.
And here we are. And I think why I brought that up is because it really put you in a position to have to figure out that you didn't need my bullshit.
Mm-mm.
And I assumed that I don't know really what I assumed. That part of my life was really kind of chaotic. I just know that I did some very hurtful things to you
Yeah, to yourself
and to myself
and others.
and others. Um,
But mainly, I think it come down to you weren't valuing yourself, and so you weren't able to value anybody else.
that's fair. I think that actually trends back a long ways though.
Yeah, and then you because of this, then you weren't able to see that there were people that did value you because you didn't think you were valuable,
Yeah, I didn't. And I base a lot of my self-worth in my sports.
and you weren't able to do that.
I place a lot of self-worth in showing up to a job that ruined my body and could not have given two shits.
None.
So I didn't know how to lean into like actual love. I could love in a sense, but I don't think it was a kind of love that was help.
Mm.
I definitely didn't love myself. I'll just put it out there. I'm amazing at most of everything that I do, except for that. So
You are now.
I am now.
You weren't.
I wasn't. And it took losing you for a while.
Mm.
But what I found is that when I lost her, I had nobody else to look at besides myself. I moved 4 hours away from my hometown. Uh, I moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma by myself. Didn't take a TV, didn't take any distractions. I took my dog Bert, took a bed,
Mm.
I took my clothes. The key thing is I took journals. And I, for once, used my bravery to turn inside and face the things that I didn't ever want to face. Even though I was in therapy and I was starting to find these things, um, the honest truth is facing yourself is scary as fuck. And I had to do it, not for you, but for me.
Yeah.
Um, she's just the bonus part of what my healing has led me back to.
Well, and I think too, it's important to say that the trauma therapy was important because you were able to heal some like surface layery kind of things, surface layery stuff. But because of what you had accomplished, it was only time for you to go really deep into the core. And that's the part that was being avoided or was able to be overridden by the physical issues that you were having, which oddly enough, the that core problem was actually exacerbating your physical issues. So it was like either you were going to have to deal with the, you know, big bad scary or it was just going to keep getting worse.
Yeah, I second that motion.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't understand that that's the way it is when it comes to healing. You have to deal with the layers. And see, for me, I had kind of turned into some of those layers and dug into the core, which I'll get to in my story. But I knew that's what Jamie needed to do. Like, I could tell that's where he was. It wasn't an impossible situation. He just had to do the work that he was afraid to do. And so because he wasn't willing to accept that, that's ultimately why we ended up splitting because it was just kind of decaying everything around us. And
I was kind of a flamethrower.
it was a black hole. He was the black hole.
Is it?
Trying to hang on to the outside for dear life. But I say this in a it's all in a loving way because I think I always knew that we would get back here, but everybody has free will and Jamie had to go sit with himself and do the work. If that's what he had to make that choice. And I'm grateful that he made it in a timely manner. And 3 months instead of 3 years or whatever.
I mean, it's fitting that I moved to Tulsa a day before my 50th birthday.
Yeah.
So I brought in this chapter of my life with myself. And it really caused me to reflect that I did not want to continue living like I was because I was better than that.
Yes. Definitely. You had to believe you were better.
And it really took me facing, it really wasn't so much, it was facing myself, but I also had to recognize and accept that I had the ability.
What was it that you told me? You had the beginning of the catalyst was you saying that figuring out one thing you were good at and building off of that.
Yes, stacking wins. I mean, surviving my childhood, being a good paintball player. There's a lot of things that I was taking for granted about myself. And when it came down to it, and I really dug deep, it ended up being stuff that residually I'm proud of. Definitely not all my behaviors. I was a fucking dirtbag.
We all have a story.
Yeah. The thing about my story is I took control of the pen.
Indeed.
I started to write what I wanted to manifest, who I wanted to be, not for any other reason than if you hadn't given me the opportunity, or if I hadn't earned an opportunity, I'm not sure how to put this. Um, I was going to have to be okay.
Right.
And at the end of the day, turns out.
Yay.
So enough about me.
I don't know. I'm kind of digging this vibe. Can I tell you what I'm thinking?
Oh yeah, of course.
Off the cuff from the plan. We're gonna talk about you, and talk about me, and talk about us, but maybe we need to break that up into episodes. Maybe this is Jamie's app.
It's supposed to be ladies first. I'm just gonna point that out, but
I don't I mean,
I do have a bisexual name. You know, Dad had a sense of humor, just not sense of humor enough to call me fucking Sue.
Jamie.
Yes,
Spelling. Lady spelling.
I'm
Lady.
weirded out by you JAINEs. I'm just saying.
So, I guess where I'm going with that then is maybe we say, okay, so crazy life, right? Um, this is the first time Oklahoma was the first time Jamie's ever lived on his own because he started raising kids when he was 19 and lived with wife of 20 years. You guys moved in together then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a context to add to that. This wasn't necessarily the first time I lived on my own. The other time was when I was a child. I mean, I was a latchkey kid at 5 years old. I could get myself off to kindergarten. I could get myself home. My mother worked for a local business as a 9 to 5, and then she was a bartender at night.
Right. But you've been like providing all your own.
Yes, providing all my own things, figuring out how to pay my bills.
So this is like important when we've reconciled for us to still continue to live separately for a couple different reasons. One of them being he was enjoying having his own routine, his own space, his own things, having to do all those things that I think is kind of a rite of passage, really, for most people, right? It feels good. It's something he'd never experienced and he was enjoying it. And also, I realized in that time how important, I mean, I know how important my home is. My home has always been a sacred space for me. I'm not a huge like gatherer of people in my home because I want to go there and I want to relax and I want to recharge. I think I realized how important that is in my adult life too, especially since Jamie and I are both givers. We will always innately give to each other. And so for us to have some space away is important. And it's kind of fun too, right? Because we like kind of date each other now. And so, like, I didn't see him last night or this morning. So when we saw each other, it was like, oh, the big embrace, like, hey, how are you?
Mm.
It kind of keeps things a little bit interesting. And so that's something that I even had someone the other day go, well, what do you mean you don't live together? And I'm like, I mean, sometimes I like sleeping by myself. Sometimes he likes to have his space to come home and journal after work. Sometimes it just is breaking out of that idea of what you're supposed to do in monogamy and in a traditional relationship. Let's just do what works for us. So this works well for us. So this is Janie's apartment where we'll be podcasting majority unless we go on location somewhere else. And the house is kind of the family home where we do the kids stuff. And it works out really beautiful that way. I do love that we kind of we're at this place and it's a good space for us and it's a good space for Jamie. And I think that being in the lifestyle kind of allows us to have freedom, allows Jamie to feel love and attention in ways that he did not for most of his life, which makes it easier for him to understand and me as well. So this is like our thing that we are I don't want to say we didn't know we were desirable, but just it's kind of gives you this nice little cozy blanket to see that, like, oh, we choose ourselves, others choose us, we choose each other. And it's nice, right?
It's lovely.
It's lovely. And we love love.
Love, love. Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
I think it's important. I think that's why I want to make this poignant about today in this particular podcast, is I think we'll break down our stories, the rundown of your story. We'll do a rundown of my story next. And then maybe for episode 3 will kind of be our story because they're all equally as important to stand on our own. That's not plan.
Yeah. Bert, my dog, apparently agrees. He's in the other room. Just
Yeah. He's consenting to the storyline.
Yeah.
And I think like for me, when it comes to podcasting, so we can kind of set an expectation, we like a 15, 20 minute-ish podcast. Maybe sometimes it'll be a little longer if we have a guest or something, but we know everybody's busy and we know sometimes you just want to hear a story. There'll definitely be times that Jamie and I get on here and just banter, but we think to like kind of pop it off. It's good for you guys to kind of know a little bit from. You know, leave us some comments. Let us know what you want to hear about. If there was something in his story where you're like, I want more, like by all means, we want feedback from you guys. We want this to be interactive. We want to know what you want to know about us. And as we dig into this a little bit further, if you have the opportunity to get on our Patreon and support us there, you'll get early access. We're even going to have an inner circle tier where you will get adult only content of yours truly, and even some stuff of us, I think, and maybe some other fun things.
We have some hot content with her and I, so
So that'll be in the inner circle. And then there is the supporter, which is kind of like the main tier where you'll get early access to podcasts. So we have a VIP where you actually get lives with us. And of course, everything you get in VIP, you get in the inner circle as well with that spicy content. Do some date recap situations and photos and things like that. So, listen, at the end of the day, I do think that we just love to tell where we came from and what we do and how we interact with each other and hope that that's helpful for others as well.
yeah, it really was about transmuting pain into love.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's happened.
Self love first,
Yeah.
and then you can love others
Yeah. I
and you can receive love.
I mean, I noticed the difference in how deeply finding that love for myself and respecting myself really set the standard of how I needed to conduct myself in a loving relationship.
Mm.
I think a lot of times we're told what love is supposed to be. And um, honestly, it kind of made me feel a little shameful because I was doing what I thought was loving you. And it was the very dictated way. I didn't feel empowered to understand what love really meant. I think I was operating off a description that I was taught. Well, my grandparents were married like 60 plus years. Uh, I just kind of thought that, loving someone else meant totally sacrificing who I was. No, no.
It's actually quite the opposite. And I think that's something that we will dig into as well is, you have to love all bits of you and not sacrifice yourself in order to fully embrace others and love them and receive love. And it's just interesting how we're taught that it's the opposite when it's not. So I think once you can see that it's not, it's like, oh, there's a whole big, beautiful world out there. And then you're not afraid of everything. And the jealousy is like, nah, and all those things kind of fall into place. Ah, I love it. You.
I love you.
And I love me.
I love me.
Yay. So we love Kansas City. So I don't know. Should we wrap it up? You should always wrap it up.
Always wrap it up.
We prefer Trojan condoms, just saying.
I'm not quite to fill out a Magnum, so yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not disappointed. It's the motion. Well, okay, it's not disappointing, folks.
Representation. Your representation.
Okay. So we're gonna wrap it up. Y'all should always wrap it up. And next podcast, right? We're early releasing on Fridays to our Patreon subscribers, and then we'll go live for everybody else on YouTube. So if you want to catch us early to our Patreon, we'll put the link in the show notes. And let us know how much you love it and get interactive with us and you get in the inner circle, So there's that.
I love that this is a teaser episode for Night of Grabbing Girlfriend. I love you guys are gonna have to get used to this because tease the shit out of you.
All right. Well, bye. Until next time.
Peace, y'all. Love you.
Peace and bacon grease.